But ultimately, time is going to go by no matter what, right? So why not utilize that time pursuing something that you are passionate about, or living a life that you can be proud of, or representing yourself in a way that is more in line with what you want to be doing, and rather than just being a mundane slave to the system.
How do you find the will to fight back against a world that wants to keep you sedated, average, and stuck in place? Join us for the tools and strategies you need to create a life of abundance, discipline, and high achievement. This is the Tactical Empire with Jeff Smith.
Hey there, welcome to another edition of the Tactical Empire. We've got a short one for you today, just a solo episode. I'm Jeff Smith, and I am owner of the Tactical Empire. And I just wanted to talk to you guys today about something that was on my mind today, and about risk taking. I think so oftentimes people, they generally are risk averse, obviously, right? Because we're having these conversations constantly in our group about the risks and things that go into investing, that go into buying properties, buying businesses, buying assets. And ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to think to yourself, the ultimate risk is to do nothing at all and end up living a life that you didn't take those risks. You didn't provide for your family a different outcome than you are currently on the trajectory to provide, right? There's a saying, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And it's so accurate. It's so accurate. And most people, just because of their aversion to risk, or I guess comfort with where they're at, as far as like, it's the known pain that they know. It's the pain that they know, whether it's a 9-to-5 job, whether it's a relationship they don't like, whether it's a relationship with themselves that they don't like. Ultimately, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And so when you feel the desire to stretch, or you feel discomfort as far as like, this is a risky thing we're doing, or I should change this about myself, or this makes me miserable, blah, blah, blah. You have to understand that at the end of the day, when you're done and laying on your deathbed and ready to leave this earth, the things that you will likely have regrets for are just the simple things that you didn't do. I should have done this. I should have taken those risks when I had more time, when I had my health, when I had the opportunity to make more money. Like, those types of things are the regrets that will haunt you. And so, I mean, we say all the time that you can change your entire financial situation and your life in 2 to 7 years by applying our methodology, right? 2 to 7 years is not a very long time to pay the price to live a different type of life that you want, right? It seems like a long time when you're in it, especially if it takes the 7 years, but ultimately time is going to go by no matter what, right? So why not utilize that time pursuing something that you are passionate about, or living a life that you can be proud of, or representing yourself in a way that is more in line with what you want to be doing, and rather than just being a mundane slave to the system, right? Because we are trained through conventional education systems, conventional methodology by our parents, and it's not necessarily their fault. It's like societal's norms, if you will, are that you go to school, get a job, go to college, whatever it is, and then you come out and you get a medium wage job that you go to work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and you watch sports all weekend, hang out and drink and socialize all weekend. And then you get up Monday morning and you do it again. And you do that for 45 years until you have the opportunity to, quote unquote, retire, whatever. And people put those things off their entire lives, and they put off vacations, they put off travel, they put off anything and everything, you name it. I've seen it a million times. And they're like, well, when I retire, I will do this. Or when I'm not working so much, I'll do this. And the fact is, I mean, none of us are promised anything. None of us are promised tomorrow. So if you put those times off, if you put those those opportunities off, to take the trips, to do the things, to take the job, to move, to do all these different opportunities, are they ever going to circle back in your life is the question that you have to ask yourself. And a lot of times the answer is no, but it's certainly never going to present itself in the same way. Meaning you're never going to be this age again. You're never going to be this health again. So if you're healthy right now, in 20 years, who's to say you're going to be healthy? 30 years, who's to say you're going to be healthy? Are you going to be as mobile as you are today? I mean, you have the opportunity to seize the moment now. And this has been a kind of filter for me, a decision-making filter for me throughout my life, especially in the last 5 to 10 years as I've grown and evolved. And I say all the time that my kids are 4, 7, 9, and 11 right now. And they will never be 4, 7, 9, and 11 again. And so when you pass up opportunities to have that conversation with your 7-year-old son, you're never going to have the opportunity to, because he is today years old, right? You're never going to have that opportunity to meet them at that moment again. So keep that in mind when you're leading your family and when you're making decisions as parents. Understand that that opportunity presented that way to the child that age is never going to come again. It's gone. It's present at the moment, and then once it passes, the decision you made is the decision you made, and you have to understand that. So I mean, that's been one of the main drivers behind my pursuit for time freedom, for financial freedom, for growing businesses that I don't have to work in the day to day. So my work has evolved over years as far as what it's looked like. And was it risky at first? Maybe. But there's risk in everything. Most people would tell you that what I do is far more risky than what they do. But I would tell you that if you work for anyone else, that's one of the riskiest positions you could ever be in, because you can get the rug pulled out from under you at any point in time, just because it's a profit and loss situation. If a business is set up to make money, then if you are not contributing in a way that provides profitability, obviously, you could be cut loose at any time. And it's nothing personal. Sometimes like it's just situational. Sometimes the markets change, sometimes the tax obligations change. And if the business can't run at the same level of profitability, staffing is one of the first things to get cut. And so you have to understand that if you're in a 9 to 5 or you work for someone else, you're not in any better position than a person that ventures out on their own. There's never been a better time to go out and start something you're passionate about, or a side hustle. I don't like that term, but there's never been a better time to start your own business, start your own thing, start selling things, whatever you want to do, something that you're passionate about, providing services, photography, anything, than right now. And I've said on past episodes, I'm not a burn the boats type of guy. I like being very tactical and thoughtful in my approach to things, because I like multiple streams of income. I like being able to produce and have that insulation of different monetary streams coming in. Now, that's not necessarily how you get started. Everybody would bitch at you about that. Like you make your first million or whatever being very focused on what you're trying to do. And if that's single family home investing, then stick with that, right? But like if you're out trying to bridge the gap from your 9 to 5 into your own thing, then you absolutely should be working on that with your other 16 hours in the day. You go to work for 8 hours and you have 16 additional hours in the day to build something for yourself that's meaningful. And you have to understand that when you're doing that, it's equitable as well, meaning every hour that you're able to put into that generates $1 back for your family, you're building an asset out of that, even if it's a business or if it's an asset, meaning like real estate or something like that. Both of them have equitable value, meaning you own it and it's growing. So it's not just the cash flow that you're getting, it's yours. Whereas you go to work, if you sell $10,000 worth of stuff for your employer in the day, you may get paid commission on it or whatever, but like you're going to get paid for your time. But at the end of the day, there's no equity in that position for you. Okay. So understand that the time spent on the weekends, the time spent after hours is where you're actually having the ability to build something meaningful for your family. And understand that risk reward assessment at the end of the day, because we are in a crisis in the country as far as people work 45 years to skimp and save and cut their way to retirement. And at the end of the day, that's no way to live. I mean, you have to do unconventional things if you want unconventional results. So if you don't want to live like everybody else, you have to take those steps so that you can live like everybody else. That's a Dave Ramsey quote or whatever. So we'll give a shout out to Dave on that one. But like, if you want something different, you have to do something different. And at the end of the day, what's the worst thing that could happen, right? You lose a little money, you lose a little bit of time, but you're learning the whole time. Those lessons cannot be taken back because you're building skills as you go. So understand that if there's something that you have perceived risky to be risky, you have to evaluate what's important to you. Like our core values of our family dictate our decision making. That's why we are living in an RV full time and traveling the country, because our values are in line with providing experiences for our kids. And to my point, our kids will never be this age again. So the experiences that they're going to get during this period of time are worth the risk that I had to take everything mobile, if you will, so that I can operate on the road and I can continue to generate income and I continue to manage our portfolio and grow our assets and our wealth. And because I have no intention on slowing that down as we travel. So there is answers and workarounds to every single thing, every single problem you may encounter. And so I highly encourage you to do a risk assessment and understand what you're wanting with your life, and then be bold in choosing to live that larger life for yourself and your family. Because at the end of the day, you can reward everyone in your circle or in your sphere of influence with your example and with the fruits of what you can produce over the next few years. So don't be shy about going out there and taking some risks, guys. There's never been a better time. You've got to go out and you've got to seize the life that you want and engineer that lifestyle from a vision to where you are, and understand the actions that need to be taken so that you can live that larger life that you desire. Absolutely. If you ever have any questions, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Like I said, it was a short episode. Shoot me a DM. You can hit me up on Instagram. If you have any questions, I'm happy to help. We also run the Tactical Empire community. It's on Facebook. It's a free community. You can ask any questions in there. Our specialty is really businesses, infinite banking, and real estate. So if you have any questions about infinite banking, real estate, well, and full-time RVing, feel free to throw them out there. And have a wonderful week. Go kick ass, take some risks, change your life, and change the lives of the people around you and those that you love.